What's up everybody? Welcome to another video on the Griffin D-Pad channel. As always, I am Griffin, and this is winter. It is finally the end of 2017, which means it's time for Game of the Year. Yeah, we finally made it. Warning, I will be spoiling the games I talked about. If you would like to skip the game, look for the time code in the description. So let's jump into my Game of the Year. Number 5 on this list is absolutely Cuphead. I've been waiting for this game to come out ever since I heard the basic premise of it. A 2D Dark Souls with animation like old cartoons? Heck yeah, I'm in. The art is absolutely stunning. To think that this is quite literally a hand-drawn video game is astounding. Every character and background fits in the world perfectly, and the overworld is just icing on the cake. The platforming levels feel a little bit light. It very much feels like they're made some easy platforming and then just shoved a ton of enemies on the stage. That said, it is still really fun. And then there's the boss fights, the main hook of this amazing game. Each one is unique and different, and while I have my own personal problems with some of them, cough cough, Hildeberg, cough cough, each was fun to try to find the right pattern and how to act after finding it. Any other year, this game probably would have been top of my list, but this was truly one of the best years in video games. Before I go any further into this, I want to say that numbers 4, 3, and 2 can really be mixed and matched any day of the week. They're all very different games, and I love them for very different reasons. That said, number 4 on my list is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I know, this game should be higher, blah blah, but you know what? This is my Game of the Year list. Breath of the Wild is a near perfect game. Turning Zelda around to an open-world survival game was a great idea, and I love most of my time in the world. Fighting enemies, switching between weapons, and throwing weapons that are about to break are great ideas and mechanics. The different boss fights between the different forms of Ganon are all fun and unique. However, the different divine beasts feel very repetitive. One of my favorite things about Zelda games is the different temples, each being vastly different in gameplay, art style, and puzzles. But we didn't really get that in this game. We get the shrines, which are the closest thing to it and are very fun, especially the new ones in the Champions Ballad, but they are no replacement for the temples. Also, the world is very barren. I understand that's an important part of the story, and it's a big part of the game is exploration of the world. And there are really cool moments like Eventide Island and the Korok Forest. I enjoyed searching for shrines, riding my shield down mountains, and trying to find every little Korok seed. I just felt that there should have been more substantial content in the world, rather than a ton of Korok seed. All that said, Zelda is still a 10 out of 10 for me. I just don't hold it in as high regard as I do the next 3 games. Number 3 on my list is Persona 5. I've been in love with this series since Persona 3, and Persona 4 Golden is one of my favorite games of all time. Persona 5 felt like a great next step in the series. I love everything about it. Starting with the gameplay, Persona 5 runs turn-based dungeon crawling for its palaces in classic JRPG style. Each palace being different and a manifestation of whoever's heart and change was a great idea. From the pyramids of Egypt to a medieval castle, each palace has cool puzzles and even cooler new personas. Outside of the palaces though, you also have the metaverse, a nice new addition to the game. I find myself grinding in the metaverse even when I didn't have a side quest to complete. We also have the real world where most of the stuff that I love takes place. The thing that makes the Persona series special is time management. Being able to explore the metaverse, studying the classes, having a job, creating relationships. It's all there. I admit that there are some weird relations in the game, i.e. your homeroom teacher and your local doctor? But a lot of them felt very real and were great character development. I especially enjoyed the relationship building for Anne, Futaba, and Makoto. Finally, the score for the game was perfect and ties the art, gameplay, and story together. I constantly find myself jumping back into this game after having beaten it already, just to see new relationships and continue playing the game that I loved so much. Number 2 of my top 10 definitely belongs to Super Mario Odyssey. I loved every little bit about this game. Even the parts that felt lackluster to the rest of the game were entertaining. Every world was amazing and had a unique sense of discovery. My favorites were the Cascade Kingdom and the Metro Kingdom. The Cascade Kingdom was great, especially after beating it in the main story. It was a perfect first experience after learning how to control Cappy. Capturing the T-Rex for the first time was an amazing experience, and plowing through enemies and the obstacles felt great. Having that much power was cool. But the highlight of the entire game comes during the festival at the end of the Metro Kingdom main story. The 2D gameplay, Donkey Kong back in action, and that crazy awesome song, what was not to love? It was the perfect end cap to the world. And then there was the end game after you'd beaten Bowser. The Mushroom Kingdom, it seemed so obvious, it was so amazing when it first shown. And then there was the darker side. The difficulty of the darker side more than made up for the simplicity of the main game, and is a great culmination of every single little thing you learned in the game as a whole. Overall, Mario was amazing and fed off of nostalgia with brand new gameplay as part of the Switch. This is one of the games on the Switch where if you own a Switch, you absolutely must own this game. And finally, my number one game of 2017 goes to Horizon Zero Dawn. Is there any real surprise in that? I'm amazed that this has been a year where we've gotten a Legend of Zelda game and a traditional 3D Mario game, but neither were my number one game of the year. But yeah, Horizon, my favorite game. I helped use it for a TV show when it first came out. I've played through the main story twice now and have collected almost every article, artifact, and voice memo in the game. And now I'm making my way through the DLC. I love this game to the point where I bought the special edition just to get an amazing statue of Aloy, one of my favorite characters in this generation of video games. The stalking of animals and the constant knowledge that every Robo-Dino can easily kill you makes the action and fighting even more intense. Then there's the stealth needed to take out waves of enemies, which made it even better. But then there was this amazing world with many different atmospheres and cultures to explore. Every group of people in the world and every city within them felt different in a way that made sense. Then there was the story after it. This outcast that doesn't really fit in anywhere. She goes from an outcast to a god in one culture, becomes a hero to another culture, and overall just saves the world. The twist that the fate of the world was actually all because of a greedy company and a faulty program was great. Climbing the tower and finally learning everything was one of the greatest experiences. Second to the final scene fighting against Hades, with all of the characters you helped from different side quests. Horizon Zero Dawn was the perfect game for me. I even got the Platinum Trophy. It makes me hopeful for Guerrilla Games and their departure from the FPS games of Killzone. I can't wait to see what comes next. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go and watch this series of videos right here. And while you're at it, why don't you like this video and share it? Or hey, maybe subscribe to the channel. That way you can see what other videos I do. Thank you all, have a wonderful rest of 2017, and keep on keeping on.